Hello, everyone. My name is Devin Anderson, and I will be presenting on the economic security analysis on Dutch Harbor and Bering Strait communities. First, my definition of economic security is having sufficient resources to sustain all necessities of life for the present day and the future. I believe that aligns with the United Nations Human Security Triangle, being able to have a freedom from fear, freedom to live in dignity, and freedom from want. Dutch Harbor is the #1 commercial fishing port in the nation. It processes almost 1 billion pounds of seafood per year. It is located in Unalaska, on the Unalaska Island, a part of the Aleutian Islands, and the fish caught here feed Bering Strait communities and provide them economic security. So, according to Tom Robinson, a tribal president in Alaska, the economy for indigenous people slash communities on the Bering Strait, their economy is based off of pollock and seafood, and that means that it is not diversified. Fishing creates jobs. Not only does it create jobs, but more importantly, it creates food and gives them food security. And while they're getting food, they're preserving the land, using their natural resources, and living according to their traditional life. They're able to live their traditional life because of pollock and seafood. So, although it represents their economic security, it also has to do with their food security and human security in general. For the impacts on economic security, first I'd like to talk about pollock because pollock is extremely important for economic security for indigenous people and the Bering Strait communities, Dutch Harbor. Fortunately, there are good impacts that are happening to pollock behavior. There are also negative ones. First of all, the numbers of pollock are increasing greatly. They're expected to be above target level in the Bering Sea. Although this is a good thing because there would be more pollock, Tom Robinson is also states that it could affect the ecosystem in a negative way when you have such a drastic change in a population of something in an ecosystem. So that is yet to be seen. Also, pollock is sustainably managed and fished under U.S. regulations, which is another positive impact on their economic security. A negative impact is they're swimming farther north due to climate change and warmer waters, and this means that when the pollock make it back to Dutch Harbor, the quality of meat is not as good, and it could only be used for sashimi and not fillets. Plastic and waste is a huge problem when it comes to economic security because it's killing their economic resources such as food and their ocean resources. And this is happening all over the world, but especially in the Bering Sea. Plastic waste is killing thousands of marine organisms every year. It of course creates a toxic environment for the sea life. And the increased temperatures cause more waste to be washed up because more sea ice is melting, and it allows for more rubbish and waste that floats to travel farther and to make it to shore. This is a pretty powerful quote by Tom Robinson. He said, "I'm terrible. We will live in a world with no fish in the ocean." And he says this because of what is going on with plastic and ocean pollution. And a lot of ocean pollution is happening from Americans in the United States, but also foreign countries and foreign areas polluting the land. polluting the land and polluting the ocean. In this chart here, you can see how long the pollutants will take to biodegrade. So pretty extreme. The smallest one, the styrofoam cup, is still 50 years, and we see a lot of plastic, which is 450 years. Politics have another impact on their economic security. First of all, MPDES permits. Those are National Pollutant Discharge Elimination System permits, and it allows for waste to be dumped in the ocean under certain circumstances. And this creates a negative economic impact on these communities because it deoxygenates the water, and they dump hot water, which chased away halibut, crab, pollock, and other sea life, and it also killed kelp and Dutch harbor herring. Quotas being shared with foreign countries in the lower 48, and commercial fishing, natural resources, and the greed for money impacts the economic security of these Alaskan Native communities. I've described a lot of the reasons why what these impacts are and why they're happening and how they're affecting economic security. However, for the general root cause analysis, the foreign countries in lower 48 are taking ocean resources while polluting the ocean at the same time, so two negative impacts on the sea life. MPDS permits and plastic waste are causing a change in the ecosystem in a negative way. Fish that used to be around are traveling farther north or are dying, kelp dying. So the ecosystem is being destroyed by plastic waste, and the MPDES permits were a big cause of that ocean pollution. Oh, and in this, I made this sentence here: communities, states, and other nations value money over preserving natural resources, because when we look at economic security for these Bering Strait communities, they rely on pollock and seafood, and it gives them food security because it is the food that they eat and they use their natural resources, which is according to their traditional life. However, it's also economic security because they look at the number of fish and how much food they're getting as a metric to value their economic security, and being able to live off of their land as a metric for economic security, where other nations and other states use cash and money as a way to measure their economic security. So they see the sea life and natural ocean resources as a way to get money versus taking care of them and knowing how they behave and having it purely for food and survival and traditional life. Possible solutions: no more NPDES permits, and create an alternative solution, such as no more dumping any waste in the ocean on purpose, if that's possible. Raise fines on people and businesses polluting, and raise awareness, which I think we're doing an okay job of in the United States, but raising fines and raising awareness would be beneficial. Also, to help economic security when these issues, allow local communities and state charters to commercial fish their local Bering Sea and distribute according to updated state laws. So state laws could update who and how these natural resources are being distributed, and by allowing local communities and state charters to do this, in this case, local communities would be preferred. You're giving jobs, living according to traditional life, and getting and living off of the land and getting these natural ocean resources without foreign countries and foreign people taking the quota. Here's my works cited. Also, I know I was supposed to create a slide about what I learned from Tom Robinson, but I used him a lot throughout this project, and I I've learned a lot of what I talked about in this presentation from Tom Robinson. Thank you.